Well, I can't think of anything more American than complaining about teeny tiny insults no one can see. In Iraq, we can't hear the microaggressions over the bombing and the screaming.
Really? How would you feel if people implied you were a terrorist?
Be more specific. Do you mean the police, the TSA, or the federal government?
It's an all-new episode of the CBS comedy Superior Donuts. Actor and comedian Maz Jobrani plays Foz, a local businessman, always outspoken, always funny. He's also appearing live this weekend in Pasadena. But let's talk about the show, because when we chat, I don't pick up that much of an accent, but you could hear it in the show.
What are you talking about? No, yeah, I do. Yeah,
right?
yeah, I do an accent for the show. The character in the show moved from Iraq to America, so he's an immigrant. And when we were getting ready to do the show, the question was, do we do it with an accent, without an accent? And I said, to be true to his timeline, he needs an accent. But I also think it's a good thing, because a lot of times when the show runs, I get a lot of tweets from people who are enjoying the character. His name is Foz. And I think it's great to have a character of Arab descent on an American TV show that people are laughing at, or with in this case, because, you know, as you know, there's so much anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, anti-Iranian sentiment that's out there. Why not have a character that's making people laugh who's from that part of the world?
So you joke about it in the show. You grew up in Tehran, moved to Northern California. Do you still get that?
Well, you know,
do you still encounter that?
Yeah, so first of all,
Really?
the character, I was born in Iran. The character's from Iraq, but I think a lot of us have similar experiences. I mean, we see it now. I mean, listen, just last year, or this past year, there was a guy in Kansas who went out and shot 2 Indian guys, and then went and told someone that he shot Iranians. He thought they were Iranians. And the people that were shot were innocent. So yeah, there's a lot of anti-immigrant sentiment that's out there. There's a lot of anti-Iranian, anti-Arab, anti-Muslim sentiment, and it's unfortunate, because 99.9% of the people that I know from that part of the world are good people. They're just living their lives, they're doing good things. And unfortunately, given the state of affairs right now with what's going on with a lot of the speech and a lot of the stuff that we coming out of the Trump administration, it causes people to do those acts of violence and discrimination against these people.
You know, the show is very, very funny, but the writers do a good job of handling that. I mean, they talk about that. They talk about gun control. And some of this you also touch on in your stand-up act.
Yeah, so I actually like the show in that I think Superior Donuts, anyone who's watched it knows that we take on a lot of social issues, but we try and do it in a way where we show the different sides. As a matter of fact, the character I play, the Iraqi American, he is a Trump supporter in the show. So it's an interesting twist, because there are a lot of immigrants who actually supported Trump. I always say this. I say, I know immigrants that voted for Trump because they wanted fewer taxes. They ended up with fewer relatives, but that's okay. These are things happen. But no, as a stand-up comedian as well, if anyone's seen my special on Netflix, it's called Immigrant, and I do talk a lot about a lot of political stuff. I've always been a fan of any art form, and in this case comedy, that takes on real issues. I was a fan of Richard Pryor, I was a fan of George Carlin, and
best, right?
yeah, those were the best, because I think it's important to say something in your art if you can. And so I try to as much as I can in my stand-up, and I'm proud of the show Superior Donuts trying to do that as well.
And you worked on produced a documentary about your sister and her battle with breast cancer.
Yeah, so my sister, Maz Jobrani, she recently actually lost her battle to breast cancer this year, but she made a documentary called Everything Must Change, and I was very proud to help exec produce it. She was very brave. It's the first-person documentary I've ever seen with someone dealing with a disease like this, and I thought she did a great job. It's currently on iTunes. We were part of the ArcLight Film Festival, and it's a movie that will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and it'll also inspire you to embrace life. She really did that. She was an amazing soul, and I'm proud to be a part of this movie.
So touching,
Yeah.
so real, right, and
Yeah.
raw. All right, you can see Maz this Friday, Saturday night. You're at the Ice House in Pasadena, where
Ice
all the
House.
greats have performed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And, of course, your chance to catch a new episode of Superior Donuts, Monday, 9 o'clock. It's always on CBS 2. Thank you.
Thank you.